Tucker Carlson's new show, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, is awesome, and he joins us from our nation's capital. Hey, Tucker.
Congratulations. Those ratings are great.
Oh, thank you.
Another great show was this weekend, where we're all tubeside watching all of these prospective candidates for high-ranking government jobs in and out of the door at Bedminster over in New Jersey with Donald Trump. There you see Chris Christie. We saw Rudy Giuliani. We saw Mitt Romney. What did you make of Mitt Romney, who has had some very unflattering things to say about Donald Trump, go right up the stairs and do the same thing?
Well, it's remarkable. And by the way, based on conversations I've had with people over there, it's serious. I mean, they are seriously considering, I believe they would prefer, actually, to have Mitt Romney as Secretary of State. I don't know if that deal will get done or not. But this is not just a head fake. It's absolutely real. And I think it's actually kind of telling. I mean, this is what the new president, any new president, ought to do, which is, enlarge the circle a little bit. And the winner ought to be magnanimous. Right. That's something that Trump has struggled with before. This is a great sign, by the way. No one was a more bitter critic than Mitt Romney. And, of course, intra-party feuds are always the angriest and leave the deepest wounds. And so if he can pull this off, I think it says something pretty good about his ability to manage.
I'm just wondering if you can get past the point where Mitt Romney called him a fraud and a fake, and he's going to bankrupt the country the way he bankrupted his companies. He actually picked a guy to run against him in Utah that might have stopped Donald Trump from becoming president. But somehow they've turned the page. Also, I think it's noteworthy that Mitt Romney's view on Russia a little different than Donald Trump.
Quite different, quite different. But I don't think that Romney voted for him. I don't know that, but I don't believe he did. Yeah. And look, this is what a winner does. He lets go of his grudges because he can, because he won. So, I mean, I think it sends a message, a reassuring message that this is a president. I mean, if this happens and if this continues, that this is a president who is confident in his role. And that's, again, a comforting message, I think, to a lot of people watching.
Let's talk about the press's coverage of Trump since he has won. I love this article. Kyle Smith wrote an article in the New York Post. It's pretty funny. I don't like this word I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. He says, you've been barfing, I don't like that word, all over yourselves for a week and a half. It is revolting to watch. He says, wipe off your chins, regain your composure. I didn't vote for him either, but Trump won, so pull yourself together, deal with it if you ever want to be taken seriously again.
You're so sweet. When you said I don't like this word, I thought, wow, what word is it?
Yeah. But barf is one of those words you probably don't want to say.
I guess it is.
Breakfast time.
Oh, that's pretty funny. No, he actually goes on to make a very solid point, which is every administration needs vigorous press coverage. I mean, things go wrong. Corruption or the hint of corruption emerges. I mean, it doesn't matter who the president is. It's a massive federal government. There are 3 million people in the executive branch. And you need a watchdog. And if the press discredits itself as that watchdog, and if every little minor dumb thing is a screaming page 1 headline, then after a while, consumers of the news, readers and viewers, become so dulled to it all that they miss a real story in there. So this has a corrosive effect. And by the way, you know exactly what's going on. If you wrong someone, it's very hard to stop being mad at that person in a paradoxical way. If you're the one who committed, the unfair act, you have trouble getting over it. And I think the press treated Trump very unfairly. They didn't actually think it was possible to be unfair to him during the campaign. And so I think it's difficult for them to pivot out of that mindset, for sure.
Well, it's not just the mainstream media when it comes to journalism. It's the mainstream entertainment world. I mean, you know what happened to Mike Pence over at the Hamilton show over the weekend. And then last night, the American Music Awards on ABC. It was just a great big Trump bash-a-thon. Tucker, there are a lot of people online who say that Gigi Hadid, who was doing the Melania Trump impersonation, they say that was racist. She should stick to modeling. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's all pretty banal. But if you take 3 steps back, here's what I'm struck by. These are so-called artists. Now, the purpose of art is to elevate the individual against the group. Every person can say what he thinks. You're seeing artists across the spectrum now acting basically as enforcers of conformity and groupthink. Get in line, obey, here are the 9 things you have to believe. If you don't, we're going to punish you. This is kind of the opposite of what art should be doing in a healthy society. I mean, these are people who claim they're against fascism and authoritarianism. Really? So where were they when they found out that the NSA is reading our emails? Or when people were punished in the Obama administration for their religious views? Or people in colleges have been getting fired for saying what they really think? I mean, art does play an important role in a society, and it should be fighting against those trends for free expression. But these people are doing exactly the opposite.
So, Tucker, here's the thing. Last week was your first week. Did they tell you that your second week is going to be also have to be live shows, too?
You mean, has he been renewed?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You have to do live shows for a second week.
No, we're doing the rest of the year on tape.
The best of. The best of.
Just because it's easier, I can get to Barbados. I don't have to deal with the whole go to work every day thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just easier that way.
Right. After all, why should you work every day? We'll watch you at 7 o'clock tonight, okay?
Thanks, guys. It's great.